Hi Shogi fans, here's another video on long move mate problem. In the previous video, we've seen problem number 100 of Shogi Zukou by Sokan Ito III. But today, we're going to take a look at problem number 100 of his younger brother Kanju's collection, Shogi Zukou. And this problem is one of the most famous problems in the history of Shogi. Its title is Kotobuki, Long Life. The primary feature of this problem is, yes, the number of moves, of course, and actually is the longest in classic mate problems, which is this prominent number of 611. It's a pinnacle landmark in the history of mate problems. Although it's not the longest one today, the record was broken by one of the recent composers, but it was the longest problem for about 200 years until the record was broken. It's really unbelievable that he could make this as early as in the 18th century. Alright, so here we go with the moves. This problem also uses the technique of dragon chase, as we've seen in Sokan's problem number 100. So the first move here is dragon to 4F. Oh, and here in this video, I'm gonna add some little feature. This little box here in the left bottom corner. So it shows the number of the moves so far. Alright, now just as you can anticipate here, this dragon chase will go on, moving along the same path again and again. So let's try to count the laps. So let's say this is the home position where the dragon is on 4F and the king is on 4E. So the king can only go to this way. So dragon chase continues here, dragon 5C. And here, the king can go to either of these two squares, but if he goes to this way, well, it's a simple checkmate, of course. Lands promotion. So obviously the king can't go to this way. And so he'll go to 7D. So dragon chase continues here like that, and king to 9F. Right now, this is the 10th move. Alright, let me make this box a little bit bigger here. Okay, so now obviously we can't keep making dragon chases with this move to 8F. You see, the lance is protecting that square. So we have to find some good move here. Oh, but you can't drop a pawn here. You see, it's a mate with draw pawn. So the correct move here is you sacrifice the promoted knight to 9G. So the king will take it here, and you'll see the reason of that sacrifice in the next move. It's a dragon to 7G, a one square gap dragon, and well, a lot of promoted pawns are protecting that square. But yes, this check works because it's a double check here. You see this bishop, so the king can only move away from that square, and you see this way is a simple checkmate. So he'll go to 9F. So once again, you can make the dragon chases here. So you always make this dragon chase with the help of this bishop. So this bishop is like a hub. Dragon chase again. So the king will now go to this right area of the board. 4E, 3F, and yes, dragon chase. And 2G. Right now, at this position, the dragon will take the promoted silver on 3G. Yes, of course. And basically, this move is the primary objective in this first lap. So king to 1H. And now what? Well, we know the dragon can go to 2H. You see, the lance is protecting that square. So, what are you going to do here? Well, the answer here is it's a similar tactic you've seen in this square. So it's a piece sacrifice to 1I, the silver sack. Well, you can't drop a pawn here because you see the pawn on 1D, it's a 2 pawns. So you drop a silver, king takes it, and right, dragon to 3I, double check formed by the bishop and the dragon. So king to 1H. Oh well, you can also try silver to 2H here. Because the lance can take it, right? But in this case, the king can simply run to 1H and it's a no mate. The defense of this promoted pawn is too powerful here. So you make a double check here. And yes, dragon chase again, chasing him towards the left side of the board again. And here we go. We're in the home position again, and now the number of the moves is 41. Alright, so let's keep going into the second lap. King 7D. So now we're back to this position. Alright, so once again, you have to drop a piece to 9G to make a double check. So pawn 9G here. And well, from this position, what I'm going to ask you to do is watch carefully to the attacker's side's piece stand and watch how the pieces in his hand keep changing. So what we have here is 4 pawns now, and you're going to see how deliberately the attacker's side changes these pieces. So pawn to 9G, king takes, so double check. Right now, dragon chase to the right side of the board again. Alright, so here's a really important part in this problem. If you simply keep making the dragon chase with dragon to 3G and king to 1H, it's gonna be no mate. Well, at this position, you can't drop a pawn to here because it's a 2 pawns, and you can't make the dragon chase anymore because the lance is protecting there. So when the king is on 2G, you have to find another move here, and that's another check with the dragon. It's dragon to 1F, taking the promoted pawn, by the way. And if the king goes to this way to 1H, you have this good discovered attack. So king to 2I and checkmate. So the king can go to that way. So the king will go to 3H, and then the dragon will come over to 3F, making a square gap check, which is a key move in this problem because now this dragon is forking the king and the lance. So if the king goes to this way, it's an all-your mate by taking this lance. You see, like this. Well, it's simple. And well, but when the king has moved to 2I, don't make this dragon chase. Well, you see, if you do that, you're gonna go to this dragon chase. And here, you'll have to use another pawn to 9G. And if you keep losing your pawns like that, it's gonna be no mate after all. So actually, this move king to 2I will be mated after this dragon check to 2E, okay? So basically the king can go to this way. Alright, now what else can he do? Well, if he can't move to 2I, he'll have to drop one of his pieces in his hand to 3G, right? But he has already one of his pawns in the third file, so he can't drop a pawn. So that leaves a silver or a knight. And the best he can do here is to drop a knight. So let's start by seeing what happens if he drops a silver. And this silver drop can be considered as a piece sacrifice because after it's taken, now the king can go to 2I. Because you see, now this dragon can't take this lance and make a check. We'll have to make this check. But well, if he gives you a silver, and if you have at least one pawn in your hand, that's gonna be an all-your mate. After these dragon chase moves, and after you drop a pawn and make a double check, instead of going ahead with a dragon chase, you can actually drop a silver here, and it's gonna be a mate after silver to 8F. Lance takes, dragon takes. Let's see, it's a checkmate. So dropping a silver to block isn't gonna work for the king's side. So here the king's side can't drop a silver, so he can only drop a knight to 3G. So after that, you take the knight and you go ahead with the dragon chase again. Now I think we're in the third lap here. Okay, now here we go, another pawn drop to 9g. And double check. Well, keep an eye on the pieces in your hand. Alright, so now we're back to this position again. And here, don't make this dragon chase, because after that, it's gonna be no mate. So yes, once again, you'll make this dragon check to 1f, and then make this check again. And we already know the kingside can only drop a knight to block. So knight to 3g, and the dragon takes it. Okay, so now you're beginning to see what exactly is going here. What you're doing here is you always pay one pawn at a time on this square, and then buy a knight on this square. So now you see you have 2 knights now, and it's gonna get more. So once again, you go for the dragon chase. Alright, now we're in the 4th lap. And it's pawn drop. Double check. So you have used 1 pawn again. And right, dragon to 1f. And then make this 1 square gap check. And you can buy a knight again. So this is the 3rd knight you get here. Another dragon chase. Right now it's the 5th lap. Right pawn drop. Well, my right hand is beginning to ache. Too many clicks on the mouse. Okay, now dragon to 1f. And then 1 square gap check. And he has to drop his last knight to 3g. And you're gonna get this 4th knight here. And you still have 1 pawn. So let's go ahead. Okay, so here you're gonna use your last pawn to 9g. Now we don't have a pawn anymore. Let's double check and dragon chase. Well, this is the 6th lap. And see here. Dragon to 1f. King 3h. And this dragon check. And finally, the king side doesn't have any knight in his hand. So now he's gonna have to drop a silver to 3g. But well, although I have said dropping a silver here will result in an all-your mate, you don't have any pawn in your hand this time. So it's not gonna be so easy. You take the silver here, but you see you don't have any pawn. So what's gonna happen here? Let's see. Right now it's here. If you had a pawn in your hand here, it should be a mate after this pawn drop, right? Followed by double check and silver drop to 9g, right? But here you don't have a pawn, so that dragon check won't be a mate. And here what you're gonna do is to drop your knight here to 7g. A really cool sacrifice. Oh well, by the way, you can also keep making the dragon chase by dropping your silver to here, 9g, and after he takes it, double check. And well, going for the dragon chase again. But you see, when you make the check, well, silver drop again. And if you take it, notice this is a repetition. It's gonna be a perpetual check. You see, dropping a silver here, taking a silver here, dropping here, taking here, dropping here, taking here. So it's not gonna be a mate. So as I've said earlier, what you're gonna do here is to drop your knight to 7g. And first, I'll have to tell you that either moving the king to 9f here, or taking the lance by moving it to 9e, is gonna be earlier mates now that he has 1 silver and 3 knights in his hand. However, I'm not gonna go into these moves right now because I'm gonna have to show you these moves later anyway, because those lines have something to do with the correct mating moves afterwards. So for now, let's just only see the main line, and that is, of course, he'll take the knight with one of his promoted pawns. So promoted pawn to 7g upward. And what are you gonna do here? Well then, yes, you go for the dragon chase again. So king to 9f, and then you drop a silver. That sacrifice, and you see you can take that promoted pawn on 7g by making the double check. So you have managed to delete one of the promoted pawns here, and of course you go for the dragon chase again. Alright, so now here you make these moves again, a square gap check, and well, you have sacrificed a knight in this square, so once again the king side has a knight, so he can drop it to 3g. Well, he can't drop silver now because you have a pawn in his hand, so dropping a silver would be an other mate. Okay, so you get 4 knights again, and you go ahead with the dragon chase. So how many laps have we made? I think it's 7. So let's go into the 8th lap here. Okay, so you know the moves here, right? Pawn drop, yes, and then double check. Now you don't have any pawn in your hand, but the king side doesn't have any knights in your hand either. So well, you're gonna get a silver. Right, silver drop. You can take silver again, and well, but you don't have pawn in your hand, so it's not gonna be that easy, mate. Okay, so this is the 9th lap, and yes, you're gonna sacrifice your knight to 7g and let one of the promoted pawns take it, and then this dragon check, silver sack, and double check. Alright, now we have eliminated 2 promoted pawns. Alright, so yes, knight block, you take it. Right, you're gonna lose 1 pawn here, and you get a silver again. Dragon check, he has to drop a silver. Dragon takes, but you don't have a pawn. Okay, now here we go, another knight sack to 7g, and he'll have to take it with a promoted pawn, and then dragon chase again and silver sack, and double check by taking the promoted pawn, and this is the last promoted pawn that can take the knight drop on 7g. So we're almost there. Well, but you have to start from trying to take the 4th knight again. Alright, so knight drop, you take it. Well, how many laps have we made? I think it's 11. Okay, so pawn drop, double check. Now you're gonna get a silver again. I'm getting tired. Alright, now finally, silver drop, again, you take it. So it's 500 moves, we're almost there. So after 12 laps, finally we'll go into the concluding moves line. Well, it's here. You can drop a knight, and because all these promoted pawns are now gone, the king side can't take the knight anymore. So that means now he has to go either to 9f or to 9e. So this is why I didn't show you the moves after these lines, but now I'm gonna show you here. And now let's take a look at king takes 9e first. Well, if he does that, you can make this one square gap check, and if he runs silver drop, and well, king to 9g, dragon check, again checkmate. And also if the king goes this way, well, you can drop a silver, and let's drop another knight here. Well, he's gonna run anyway, but you can sack this bishop, and it's a checkmate, right? So the king side can't run from this check, so of course he'll make pawn block. Well, then silver drop, And if he goes this way, it's gonna be the same thing here, right? So he'll go to this way to 9e, and well, you can take this pawn, and if Lance takes it, a really nice pawn sack to 9e, and he can't take it, so the king will go back, but knight check, and you see bishop sack and checkmate. So here the king side can't take the silver, so the king will go to 9c, but then pawn drop, yes, and basically he'll run. So bishop sack and checkmate again. So after all, from this position the king side can't take the lance on 9. So the main line here is king to 9f, then you'll drop a silver to 9g, king runs, and then you make this dragon check. Now, if he drops a piece to block it, it's gonna be made after silver to 8f, which is the position you've already seen, so the king will run, of course, but here's a really nice knight sack to 8f. Well, the king runs, another knight drop to 8f, and well, it's this checkmate. So at this position the lance will take it, but then dragon can make this check to 9e, so king runs, and another one square gap dragon check. Okay, so here if he drops a pawn to block here, to our surprise it's gonna be an earlier mate after knight check, and well, you're gonna sacrifice your dragon here by taking a pawn. So after silver takes it, another knight drop, king runs, and then you drop a knight here, and well, you see you can drop a pawn, and well, knight to 7c unpromote, and it's a checkmate. So dropping a pawn to block is not the best the king side can do here. So actually, the best block here is to drop a knight to block. But yes, knight check to 8e, king runs, and once again, you can sacrifice this dragon anyway by taking a knight. So silver recaptures, now knight drop, king runs, and right, knight drop to 9c, king runs, but you don't have a pawn so you can't drop it here. But well, you have this really good knight sack to 7b promote, so after king takes it, your knight on 8e can promote to 7c, and the king will go to 6a. Well, if he goes to 7a, you have this nice knight sack. After lance takes it, the bishop can make a check, and it's a checkmate. So the king will go to 6a, but well, pawn promotes, dragon takes, so gold recaptures, and well, you got a rook again, and well, to our surprise, another dragon chase will take place from here. So we'll start by pawn drop here, and if he takes it, it's simple, rook drop, checkmate. So king runs to 4a, but you see rook drop, yes. So king runs, rook promotes, and king runs. Okay, so here another dragon chase comes up. Right now here, once again, you can't make this dragon check, right? So you have to make this check, and then make a square gap check. And the best piece block for the king side is again a knight drop. Well, he has some other options now, rook, gold, or lance, but let's say if he drops a lance, we'll just take it, and well, you can drop it here, right? So you see the king side can't take this silver, so well, checkmate. And how about a gold? Well, we can take it, and we can drop it here. Although the lance is protecting there, you have two pieces attacking that square, so he can't take it. So king runs, checkmate. So the knight is the best he can. So you can take another knight here, and you have two knights in your hand, and another dragon chase. Okay, well, the king side can't move to the left side of the board anyway, so king goes to this way here. So another dragon chase. Okay, now this is another important part. Now finally, you can make this check by pawn promotion to 1c. But if you just do that, it's not gonna be a mate. After the king takes it, you can make a dragon check, but the king will run to 2d, and it's gonna be no mate. So actually, at this position, you have a really good knight sacrifice to 2d. And after the pawn takes it, now you make this pawn promotion check, because now the king side can't run to 2d after this check. And if he blocks it, the best option will be gold here. We see this bishop check, king runs, but well, knight drop, and it's a checkmate. So the king will run to 2c, but yes, you have another knight, so knight to 1e, and yes, the dragon chase again. An important thing here is that you have eliminated a pawn that was here on 1d, and that makes a big difference here. Okay, so after the dragon chase again, now finally, okay, this is the 600th move here. At this position, you don't have to make this check to 1f anymore, because now you should just keep going for the dragon chase. The reason is, right, there's no pawn in the first file anymore, so finally you can drop a pawn to 1i. So you see, oh, but well, you're not gonna make this double check here. What you do here is to move your silver to 2h. Well, the lance can't take it, so king runs, dragon check to 1g, king runs to 2i. Okay, 3 more moves, dragon chase, king runs, finally dragon to 3i, checkmate in 611 moves. Okay, finally that's all. Hope you enjoyed the video. See you next time.